Hi there everyone, Jack here again at the Vinyl Voyage. Now today's video is in response to a thread that was started by Ed at the channel On My Turntable. Now if you're new to Ed's channel, go and check him out, subscribe, it's really great, a lot of good content, and have a watch of his original video that started this thread where he asks us to show 5 albums from female artists or female fronted bands. One of the albums should or could tie into a personal experience where you saw one of these artists live. Now, I've got a confession to make. I wasn't always enamoured by female artists or female fronted bands. In my teenage years, it was all about testosterone rock for me. The songs of Paul Weller, the songs of Pete Townsend, Stone Roses, even the blatant misogyny of Messrs Jagger and Richards and the rest of the Rolling Stones. And it took me a long while to maybe fully appreciate female artists, and it's absolutely criminal not to, because obviously some of the best albums that have been produced over the years have been from female artists or female fronted bands. And there's nothing that I enjoy more now than running a hot bubble bath, maybe putting on an oatmeal and cucumber face mask, slipping into the bath and turning on some Kate Bush or Joni. That's where I'm at these days, and now I'd like to show you 5 of my best. So first up then, from 2021, we've got the 5th album from the band The Weather Station. This is on Fat Possum Records. It's called Ignorance. Now I say band, but they're not really a band. It's more the musical project of Canadian singer-songwriter and folkie Tamara Lindemann. That's her there on the front cover. Now this album's not so folky though. This has got a very full band sound, and it sounds like kind of cloudbursting era Kate Bush. There's so much going on in the album. Tamara Lindemann herself plays moog, guitar, Wurlitzer organ, piano. There's double bass in there, saxophone, viola, cello, flutes. Really, there's a lot going on. But yeah, it does really sound like Kate Bush, and if you like that kind of thing, I'm sure you would like this. It's really great. It was very critically acclaimed when it came out. It got nominated for a lot of awards, but you don't hear many people talking about it now. But yeah, if you like Kate Bush, I'm sure you would like The Weather Station, especially this album, Ignorance. For me, the key track on this one, if you want to go and have a listen to one of the tracks, a good one would be Try to Tell You is a really nice song, or Robber is a great song as well. But yeah, The Weather Station, Ignorance, give it a listen. Next up then, some Sweet Philly Soul from 1974. This is Barbara Mason with Transition on Buddha Records. Check out that album cover. That's really cool. People have said at the time that this kind of flopped because it's not just a soul album. There's flashes of funk, there's bits of gospel, and the gospel is what kind of split Barbara Mason's fan base, who were looking for another straightforward soul album. Songs like Sunday Saint and The Devil Is Busy, they weren't so appreciated. I think they're 2 of the stronger songs in the album. I like the gospel influence. It's also an album that has a kind of socially conscious element to it, songs like Trigger Happy People. But it's certainly no Marvin Gaye, What's Going On cash in. You know, Barbara Mason wrote 8 of the 9 songs herself, and yeah, it's a great album. Some fantastic funky wah guitar in some of the songs, great bass lines, and the strings sound so great. But yeah, definitely worthy of your time. Check it out. Good track to listen to on here would be Trigger Happy People. Give it a listen. Barbara Mason, Transition. Next then, from 2021, we have the 2nd album from Atlanta singer-songwriter Faye Webster. This is on Secretly Canadian, and the album is called Haha, I Know I'm Funny. And it's really a cool album. It's kind of slacker, a little bit country, indie, hipster type stuff. I'm probably too old for this album. It's probably too cool. But yeah, she's got like a really laid back, nice delivery with her vocals. All the playing's really tasteful as well. Like I said, it's kind of hipster type indie stuff. She gives you out little stickers promoting this haha, I know I'm funny type thing. But yeah, it's really cool. On blue vinyl. Faye Webster was a big lockdown artist for me. I really got into her first album during lockdown. It was called Atlanta Millionaires Club. And then when we came out of lockdown, Berlin was one of the first places I travelled to. And during a trip to Berlin as we were coming out of lockdown, I bought this one, her second one. Really, really good album. If you want some chilled and relaxing, give it a go. It is Haha, I Know I'm Funny by Faye Webster. Next up then, some pure pop perfection from the 60s with Nancy Sinatra on her debut on Reprise Records. This is Boots from 1966, and that's as iconic an album cover as you can imagine. You know, Nancy Sinatra looking as cool as you like. This was produced by Lee Hazelwood, her long-time collaborator, and he actually wrote a number of the songs on here as well. But it's essentially an album of cover versions. She does other people's songs. You know, the album kicks off with Jagger and Richards' As Tears Go By. It finishes with Lennon and McCartney's Run For Your Life. You've also got their Day Tripper on here as well from the Beatles. But like I said, Lee Hazelwood writes a number of the tracks. He writes the big title track. These boots were made for walking, and obviously that was a massive song from the 60s. Now the story goes with that song that initially Lee Hazelwood had wrote the song for a male voice, and Nancy Sinatra managed to persuade him otherwise and said she should sing it. The reasoning behind it being the song would come across too misogynistic, too aggressive. If a male was to sing the line, "These boots will walk all over you," she said that it would sound a lot better if it came from a young girl, namely her, and she managed to persuade Lee Hazelwood to let her sing it. Now, the players on here are fantastic as well. You've pretty much got the Wrecking Crew as her backing. Carol Kay's on there, and obviously on that big track, which is most noted for the bass line, that amazing walking bass that goes through "These Boots Will Walk All Over You," or "These Boots Were Made for Walking." You've got Chuck Berghofer playing that amazing double bass line, which is so iconic. But yeah, a great album, really easy to get into, not overly expensive, and I love a bit of Nancy Sinatra. Great stuff. And finally then, Ed had asked us to show an album that tied in with a really memorable live experience. Now this was an easy one for me. It would be Amy Winehouse with Back to Black from 2006 on Island Records. I saw Amy Winehouse about a year later in 2007 in Germany with my wife at Cologne Palladium. Now, I don't know how big Amy Winehouse was, maybe in the States round about that time, but in the UK, she was everywhere. She was all over the tabloid press. The press were hounding her all the time for her substance misuse. And when I saw her in Germany, she was clearly under the influence. She tottered on the stage with her little high heels, her pencil skirt, and that big beehive hairdo. And you could tell she was under the influence, but when she opened her mouth, her voice was absolutely unbelievable. One of the best live gigs I've ever been to. Yeah, she was just really, really great. She had a fantastic backing band behind her as well as all the big hits, you know, like Rehab, Me and Mr. Jones, Back to Black, Tears Dry on Their Own. On that night, she did lots and lots of ska covers as well, which was really cool. She did You're Wondering Now, she did Monkey Man. It was just a really, really great night. But this album as a whole, obviously, is just an absolutely amazing album. Amy Winehouse, you know, as an artist, she has so much more to give. If she could have sorted herself out, if I don't know, if she hadn't been so much under the influence of the boyfriend, what was it, Blake Civil Fielder or whatever he was called, I think she would have had some more really, really great albums in her, and it's just a real shame that it ended the way it did for her, because she was a unique and an amazing artist, I think, and one of the last really true icons of music. So that's it though for me with female artists and female fronted bands. I didn't really show any female fronted bands. I'll maybe do a following up one, because as much as the Weather Station they're not really a band. It's really Tamara Lindemann who is the driving force. They're not really a band. So maybe the next time I'll do one for female fronted bands. But yeah, really enjoyed that. Cheers for coming up with that thread, Ed. Really, really good. Go and check out Ed's channel. Subscribe to him. Watch his original content. It's fantastic. And until the next time, see you later. Bye for now.